Hello and welcome to Three Sisters, One Heart podcast. I'm Heather.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Tiffany.
And today we are talking about where we see ourselves and what we're doing in 10 years.
This actually, though, comes from our Gramma Sue. Shout out to Gramma Sue if you're watching the videos.
I had no idea she watched, so that
I didn't either.
I
That
don't
was
know
nice.
if she's watching. I think she's listening to the podcast.
Okay.
Either way, if you're watching Grandma, give us a comment below. But she said, I finally caught up on the podcast and I have a topic for you. And
It's
was
a good
like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. That sounds really cool. So before we get into it,
We'll go for our trials this week. Tiffany?
all right. So, okay. So this upcoming week is my husband and I's 15th wedding anniversary. As we talked about in our last staycation or vacation episode, we actually are going to Orlando for 3 nights, and so I've been trying to find fun things for us to do, but a couple things, but keep it cash, so we're not
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed. I mean, we live close enough that we shouldn't have to feel overwhelmed. But I bought a Groupon to Blue Man Group. Have you guys ever seen Blue Man?
I've heard of it. I've never
Heard of
been.
I've never seen it. I've always thought it would be really cool. I got a Groupon, and I've done many Groupons. It's easy peasy to do. Well, I read in the description that you had to print out your voucher ticket thing, or they will not accept it on your phone. You have to have a printout copy of it. So I go to the library and I log into my Groupon, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there, right? And so I get on my phone into the app, and it shows clearly it's been processed. I paid for it January 26th. It's done.
Should be there.
It's done. I've already paid my money.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to contact customer service, and legit. And if anyone else has had issues with Groupon customer service, I'd love to hear how did you deal with it, because I cannot get a person. I cannot
that's the
get a
most
annoying
person.
thing.
It refers you to their customer support, right? Which wants you to type in some keywords about what your question is, and then it wants to try to troubleshoot it for you. They think they already know what's
I always
going
just
on.
hit 0 over and over and over and over.
No, there's
So
nothing. There's not even a phone number. If you call the phone number, it refers you back to the customer service online or through the app, right? Or through
That's bad customer
you can
service.
do a live chat.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty sure that's a robot too. Because it took me forever. I finally get through the rabbit hole enough that I get a live chat link. And then in the live chat, they say, oh yes, we see your information here. We see, we see that you paid for this. Yes. We'll send you an email. It's been 4 days. Do you think I got an email? I got nothing. I got nothing.
Did you check your spam folders?
I
Yes.
have checked all the folders.
Mm.
I'm having a really hard time with it. I'm getting really upset because, okay, it wasn't a lot, but it was $100.
That's a lot to me.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was one of our bigger things.
Yeah.
For
For sure.
And
It's
so I don't know what I'm
entertainment.
going to do. Actually, I had mentioned maybe you can help me. I thought maybe, because I print up at the library. I don't have a printer at home. We have laptops and a Chromebook and we have cell phones, but we don't have a desktop computer or a
Or a
printer.
printer, yeah.
So I tried to pull it up at the library, and I'm thinking maybe somewhere with it pulling it up at the library, I had some issues. Maybe I'm just not technical. Chris was there to help me. He couldn't figure it out. I'm referring to our tech support.
Not saying much.
Next thing I'm gonna do is call Universal, but it's what are they gonna say? They're gonna be do it with Groupon, and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna get the runaround there too. So I don't know what to do, and part of me just wants to buy more tickets, and part of me is I'm not buying them through Groupon.
Yeah.
There's also a handful of other things. There's a museum called Wonderworks, and it's interactive. It's
I
really
wanna go to that.
I think
family
I've heard
friendly.
of that.
It's really cool. The outside of the building looks like it's been flipped. The whole building has been flipped on its head.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's really cool. They have a bunch of cool exhibits. They have giant bubbles and it's all interactive.
Oh, I
You
wanna
can
take the
play with.
boys.
I know. I feel a little bit bad that we were gonna go without the kids.
I felt real bad. I went to Disney without my children.
Well,
But I
I'm
had
a
a
big
freaking
amusement park
blast.
fan.
And I was drinking at 10 a.m. at Disney, so that was nice.
well, I wanted to maybe get a Groupon for it, but now I'm nervous.
Yeah, that you won't get it.
But I have bought many a Groupon
And never
I
had
have
issues.
No problem. I didn't even get a confirmation email. But
Yeah,
you
that's
better
really
believe that money
strange.
came out of my checking account.
Oh, of
so
course.
yeah, if you guys have any ideas, or I'm actually
Do
by
you
the
work
time-
at Groupon?
Do you work at Groupon? Holla at your girl, because I have no clue what to do with this situation, and it's it's a non-refundable kind of thing.
course.
I'm literally about to just lose out on money and on our excursion, and my husband's the kind of guy that is oh, they're screwing us over. F them. We're not doing it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
but then you're like, but I
But
want to do
go
it.
so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
And it's not the Blue Man Group, it's Groupon.
Yes, exactly. So maybe we'll figure it out, and next week I'll come on here and it'll be my triumph.
Maybe.
Let's hope.
What about you?
I have had the absolute worst lower back pain. It's just nothing seems to help it. Tylenol, heating pad, kind of takes the edge off to where I'm okay, like functioning wise, but it still, like right now, it's just pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had, for the past few weeks, really bad insomnia, where I'm getting, I don't know, 2 hours of sleep most at night.
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm exhausted. I look like shit constantly.
You look great.
You're so sweet. But nothing really seems to help it, and I'm just trying to cope with pain and no sleep.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
I sleep, but I do deal with pain constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've gone back and forth, and I don't even wanted to say anything. But, it is what it is, and I try to be as transparent as I can. But, everything with work has kind of come to a head, and I am just not happy with my position, where I'm at, what I'm doing, not getting the help I need, way overworked, and I just can't anymore. So
Yeah.
I've kind of like hit a wall and decided that I'm probably gonna go elsewhere, and that's really scary, but I think it'll turn out to be for the better. But the money is just not worth
Your mental health.
my mental health. It's just not. It's been months. It's been me working my butt off. It's been,
No.
I've tried everything.
A lot of stress.
A lot of stress. And it's just not worth it anymore. I
get
was
it.
having fun. It was great. Until it wasn't. So, that's where I'm at.
So moving on, a whole new chapter.
A new
It's
chapter.
exciting.
I'm trying to see the excited part of it, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah.
You get the excitement. You get to see your girls more.
That's true. I'm tired of working so much and not seeing my kids. And whenever I do see my kids, I'm cranky or I'm tired or...
And another positive, while you're still looking for a job, that's much more time you can devote to school.
Yeah,
And not
because
be
that
overwhelmed
has
with
been
both.
that's been suffering too. Which it's all a spiral effect.
You just gotta look at the positives in a not so bright situation. That's what I've learned to do with being a military spouse.
Oh,
Which is a whole nother trial
Luckily
that I
not.
can't get into.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Potentially jobless. Which
Y'all
I
are gonna be
don't
fine.
think
You'll
I've
be
ever
fine.
been.
I don't think I've ever seen you jobless either.
Mm-mm.
But it's just not a good place for me right now. And I just need to take some time and get myself back on track. So that's where
Right.
I'm at.
All right. Well, 10-year goals.
Okay.
Yeah,
this
perfect
is
time.
excellent
Yeah.
timing, yeah.
Let's switch to this. Switch gears here. So, where we see ourselves in 10 years. For me, I would like to be in a good sized house
Mm-hmm.
with 3 kids. I'm gonna add to our brew apparently. At some point. Husband will be retiring
That's amazing.
Yeah.
at the ripe young age of 40.
That's
Very nice.
amazing.
Um,
So he plans
he'll
it
have
if he's
his
like career.
20. Yes, he's doing career. Things have happened that have kind of put that in concrete that he's doing career. But it's only another 10 years, and he's already halfway there, so it wouldn't make sense for him to.
Really,
Call
in
it
the
quits
big
now.
scheme of things, 10 years is not that
No,
much.
not at
Can
all.
you imagine retiring at 40? That's insane. Like,
Yeah.
Just get to futz around and do what you want.
Yeah, well, he.
Well,
can't
most people go
not
on to
have a
have
job.
Well, that's what I'm
second
saying. Like,
careers afterwards.
do something
Yep.
like you just want to do.
So
he
everything.
can
he'll
do-
have retirement pay
Right.
and his next career pay.
Right,
That's
so he could do something, whether he wants to work at a grocery store, for God's sake. He
I
doesn't
can't
have
see
to
him
worry.
doing that.
I know, but if that was his dream,
Yes.
for whatever
Right,
reason.
right.
But we'll
He
have
doesn't
3
have to
incomes,
look
2
at,
jobs.
right,
basically.
he doesn't have to look at the income
Yep.
aspect. It can be whatever the hell he wants to do.
So
That's cool.
that's our plan for that. Me, I would like to go to school to get it's bachelor's, I believe, and just kind of like business, like a
Associates?
Yes.
Like a business management.
yeah,
Or like a business degree. Like a general.
yeah. It's just general to where I can I'm helpful in a business.
Well,
Because
what I've learned is it doesn't really
as
matter
much-
what your degree is in, so long as you have a degree.
Yes. As much as I do
funny.
enjoy dental, but I liked the front desk aspect of it more than I liked the chair side.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to look for more jobs in that, and a lot of them, as far as getting up into a higher position in the front desk, would like you to have a degree.
Yeah.
All right.
So
That's
Makes sense.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Sometimes you have to go through things to kind of realize that it's not what
it's
you
not
want.
what you wanted. Yeah.
Not in its entirety, anyway.
Right,
Mhm.
or it's
Yeah,
not
I
what
get
you
that.
really had in mind. I mean, you're learning about it as you're in school for it.
Yes.
So,
But going to school for it actually helps me.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
So it helps that I know the basics of everything, and I know the basics of the front desk, and I was kind of reception for a vet for whenever I was a vet tech. So I've got some experience, but I still don't have enough for them to be like, yeah, we'll take you on.
Right.
So I'm
Yeah.
still hitting that wall of not finding a job because everyone wants 3-4 years experience in a job, and no one's willing to take that chance to give you that experience.
Well, and that's just the reality, I think, of taking continued education. Like, I think it's kind of frustrating that a lot of kids in high school age, they go into continued education and they assume that they're going to end up with a job right out of school, and that's not the
what
case.
they try. That's what the school, how they try to get you in. Oh,
Of
we place. No, you don't place.
Yeah.
You help with a resume and that's it. You don't actually say, here, we've placed you in this job. That's
Right.
not how it works.
Right. Which it makes sense that it wouldn't work that way, but it's not fair for them to put up what is it? Facade? An
Facade.
illusion. Facade. That's the word I was looking for.
Facade.
The illusion
Yeah.
that it's like going to be like, oh, here's your diploma, here's your job.
No, same. And, like, that's why, so, well, skipping to me, I'll be 44.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Both of my kids will be 24 and
Oh my
22.
God.
And they either will be in school or finishing up. I might have one in college about to finish up and one either finished or moving on to something more, or maybe they'll be in trade school. We are not the kind of
I
parents.
will not push college. You can
Same,
make more
and we
in a
won't.
trade school than you can and you won't have the $100,000 in debt.
What we want for our kids is we want to push them enough to where they are motivated to do something with their
Yes.
lives. But we don't want to push them so much that we want to be pushing them into something that is going to
That
make
they
them
don't want.
miserable.
Right.
You know, we want them to be happy. And so I understand what you're saying. It's like with me with yoga teacher training. I think I kind of did like, oh, I'll do my first, 250 hour and then I'll be good, But then after going through that, I'm like, oh no, I'm not good. Like I don't
I need
feel
more.
Yeah.
ready. I feel like I need more. And when I think about, if I would make a career out of that, I would say in 10 years, I'd like to be at a place where I'm able to teach, but I'm not looking to be a career yoga instructor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would
totally
like
see
to
you
teach.
being a career nanny.
Yeah, but that's
Because
the
you
thing
are
too.
so good with babies.
Well, at that point, okay, so at 44, the babies I'm with now, they're not going
Right.
to need me. I probably would have been through a whole nother family, if not two by then.
Right, because they typically only need the first 5 years, because then they're off to
Yes,
school.
yeah.
Max almost,
Yeah.
really. Unless
Unless they keep adding babies.
or they want to keep you around for if they're career type people and they need someone to get the kids up in the morning, get them ready for school, cart them to school, pick them up after school, but then your
Do the
your
errands
duties
and all
totally
these- yeah.
change,
And your hours.
and your
stuff.
hours and stuff. And so that will just depend. Of course, I would like to say I won't have kids at home, but being that they'll be at college age and just how close our children are, it could go either way.
Yeah.
I for one, I'm very close to our mother and our parents, but like when I could leave the house, I was gone.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much all
Oh,
were to
yeah.
some extent. We came back.
came back.
We all came back.
Some of us a few times.
multiple times.
But as soon as we could, we were like flying out the nest. You know what I mean? So like I could see them.
I just don't see your girls doing that.
I don't know. It depends. They're still so young because, I got one in high school. I got one in middle school. And it's hard to say because although they have stayed pretty true to their personality types, like, you just never know. You
Yeah.
never know how things are going to go. Same thing with not pushing them into college necessarily.
Yeah.
Although I could see I could see them wanting some college. Especially, I know right now.
If
Nova
I had to say one or
is-
the other, Nova for sure.
Yes.
Nova, I can see for sure. I see Ani wanting to actually get like I can't talk
Hands-on
sorry guys.
experience.
The hands-on,
Yeah, I
the
agree.
dorm, the everything. I see
Oh,
her
for
wanting to
sure.
do that.
Yeah.
I don't see Nova wanting to do a dorm style life.
No, but I definitely see Nova being the one who would want that degree.
Yes.
Or I could see Nova wanting more than just her 4 year. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
Nova-
I
saying?
could see her going
The
for more.
Nova
yeah.
would be the more academic.
Yes.
Just if like you were to put them in those positions today,
Mhm.
Nova would be the more academic, and Annika would be more the experience and the life exposure.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, but I could see them both living
Which
at home.
nothing
for a
is
long time.
wrong with either.
No.
Right.
So, but that's interesting. I was thinking about this, and mine will be 20 and 18,
Wow.
which is crazy.
I'll have an 18 and a 16-year-old.
Oof.
Yeah. So 20 and 18. So we'll be in kind of similar situations.
Yeah.
Um,
One just graduating high school, going
Mhm.
into maybe college or
Right.
something.
I mean, they're still so young that
Mhm.
whenever they talk about college, it's hard to even really say.
Yes.
Because I know Aubriana, my sweet little thing, wants to go to Flagler College because she doesn't ever want to leave home.
Aw.
But
Zoe
I
wants
had
to
to
go
say right
somewhere in
now,
California.
Zoe will be my one that wants to go experience the world. But she's very fiercely independent,
Mhm.
and she is all about the experiences, the meeting new people. Doesn't have a shy bone in her body
Mm-mm.
at all. So I can see her definitely wanting to fly the coop or whatever the
Zoe's
term
gonna go
is.
cross country. She's like,
For
peace
sure.
out. I'll see
Like
y'all
how
on the West Coast.
How you like jumped in the van and went like cross country, like that would be Zoe.
It was very short lived.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody person.
But
It didn't take me long to realize that.
I think Zoe's gonna be my more adventurous one,
Yeah.
where Aubriana is gonna be a little more calculated,
Yes. I
And
think that's
careful.
a great way to put it. One
which
would be more
both is
calculated. Yeah.
fine. It's
Yeah.
just I think. And I think Aubriana, while she may not look like my child, she actually is. She's a lot like me. I'm very careful. I like to have a plan. I like to know exactly what's going on,
Mhm.
where I'm going to be, this, that, and the other. Which is really funny that this week we chose a topic, where do you see yourself in 10 years? That now I'm like, I don't even know where I see myself in 2 weeks.
Right. Well,
Like-
I was talking. So last night we had a big vegan. We called it the fry all. We decided to fry all the random things
All the
that
things.
we never get to have, and it was super fun.
It was delicious.
But we all feel like shit
Oh,
this
man.
morning.
Well, because you're not used to eating like
No.
that.
No.
But my friend Becky came over, and I was talking to her about it this morning, and I was like, this topic is really interesting, but like I definitely want to sit down and take a few minutes with my notes because, well, I've thought a little bit here and there about the future. Like I haven't really thought in such a set time frame,
Yeah.
you know, or sat down and thought, well, where would I be in 10 years? Like, it's always like, where will I be tomorrow? What am I doing
Yeah.
this week? How do I survive the month? You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm not really ever thinking that far ahead.
Yeah.
But
I
it was
feel
cool. It
pretty
made me feel
confident
more goal-oriented.
That I can say there will not be any more children. That's a decision we've made.
Same.
Not same.
My kids will hopefully be traveling with us a lot still. So that'll definitely, even in the next like 2 years,
Yeah.
like that'll be changing a lot. Like we're not taking an international trip this year.
Mhm.
So probably next year, like they'll start going on our trips to other countries and hopefully be well traveled. Should life go the way I plan. But
You know life never goes that way, right?
as I'm seeing that right now.
Just saying, you
Do
can
you
make all the
think-
plans you want, but life's gonna let them go how they're supposed to.
They are, yeah.
Do you think you'll be, like, in 10 years, say, wanting to do similar work to what you're doing now? Or do you have already in your mind, like, some more, like, goals that you want to
I
reach
like
in some form or another?
The field of work that I'm in, I do enjoy.
Mhm.
But I would like to be in higher positions of
Yeah.
higher responsibilities at that point.
Having some underlings instead of being
Shannon's
an
gonna be
underling.
CEO. She just doesn't know
I
it
could
yet.
see it.
I could totally
I
see
I don't
it.
know about CEO, but
I could see it.
I don't know. I feel like to be a CEO, like you have to like have your own business. Like I've always wanted to own my own business, but the only problem is I don't really have any one thing that I feel passionately enough
Mm-hmm.
to really like
Same.
go out there and keep
Well,
like I think I could run a business. But I just don't have
You could run a
any.
business for somebody else. You don't
Maybe
have
you
to run
could
a
help
me
business
with
for
this,
you.
with like the book side of things, because so Chris and I have always thought of, first off, in 10 years, because he works night shift, he's a couple years older than me, so he'll be, what, 44, 45, 36, about 47, right?
Mhm.
And he would like to shift from working night shift to working day shift, but in the same field. He'd like to
Yeah.
get a little more, letters going behind his
Certifications and
name.
stuff.
So
Mhm.
he's a little more well-rounded. And then possibly maybe also do some work from home kind of stuff. And if he stays where he's at now, and because right now he's in a really good hospital job,
Yeah.
he could grow into
He's
a
in
good
the
position
right
like
track.
that. Yeah. So we've always talked about that would give us more freedom. And with me doing nannying, I can kind of
More flexible.
I'm
work.
more flexible.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm more flexible, and it would be nice to do, like, for instance, I have an Etsy shop, which I've talked about a few times on here. The only issue is that, like, I don't have time to put into it. I
Yeah.
don't have time to put
Right.
into it. It's like I'll go
Because
a
you can
couple months.
promote, and then it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, like I'll go a couple of months where I am really on it and it's going great, and I'm able to do all of the cross promoting and networking and stuff, and like it'll be a little bit better for a couple of months, and then I'll have like 6 months and there's nothing going on. Like my Instagram, for instance, for my Etsy is like I haven't even posted anything since like Halloween before last.
Yeah.
So I know I can't keep up with all the things. It's too much. But I'm thinking like with my schedule changing, I don't know about if I'll still be nannying or not. This is the thing. So for me right now, or just the kind of person I am, the family I nanny for now, I've already been with, it's coming up on 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They have a little one. They'll need me, let's say, a good 2 to 4 more years, give or take.
Right.
Then what? Maybe I'll have another family in that time. It's hard for me. I have a hard time.
You've got that bond.
I can't let go. And I just, as much as I know that those kids love me, I'm a part of their life, at the end of the day, it's like, bye.
Right.
You
You're
know
not
what
a
I'm
parent.
saying? I'm not their parent. I'm not their family. And at some point, they won't need me. And I know when that happens, it's going to be bittersweet. I'll be glad to see them grow. But it'll be so hard for me to let go of that. And like I can keep in touch, but like let's be real. How
It's
in
not
touch are
realistic
you
to
gonna
say.
be? Like they're little. They have whole lives ahead of them.
That kind of like brings it to
So I don't know if I'll be doing that still.
Even-
you know, maybe.
10 years ago. If you would have
Maybe
asked
for
me this
you.
question,
Maybe you're
Yeah. I would
I
have.
don't plan on waiting quite that long.
No.
I mean, 10 years, I don't think
That's a
I
long
want an
time.
Well, maybe
18-year
in a-
gap
in
between
a-
my kids.
Maybe in a couple years. Maybe just in
Yeah.
a couple years.
Yep, you can tote around my
I
kid.
said 2 to 4 for this family.
Well, 10 years ago,
Love to tote
I
around a
was managing a daycare for
Oh,
children
yeah.
with disabilities.
Yes.
I worked for.
That was great.
And
We could do something like
a
that.
foster care home, and I couldn't do it. I had to get out of the
Your
field.
bond.
I know.
It's so
Um,
heartbreaking.
It
because-
is heartbreaking.
The kids in the foster homes, they grow, like age out of the system. They move. There's
That
different
was,
things.
I did that for a while. That
But
was
the
very
hardest,
hard.
the hardest for me was that with children with disabilities, unfortunately, quite frequently they do pass away from their illnesses, their disabilities, any kind of complications, and it was just too much for me. I don't know how, like I know like whenever people are like nurses or whatever, like you like build up
You
this
build up
ability
a block.
to separate.
You build up. You have to make a kind of fucked up sense of humor in the medical field.
Right, and I don't
Or a
have that.
disconnect.
I do, and it's bad.
Compartmentalization.
Yeah. And so I don't have that. So 10 years ago, I never would have thought I would be in finance by any means. But now that I am, I love it. I love the job that I do. Unfortunately, the issues that I'm having right now come down to lack of proper management. And
You steal their jobs.
That's the thing.
if only.
Just saying.
So, I don't know. I feel pretty confident in the field that I'm in now. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, just not in the right company.
Makes sense.
So, I think in 10 years I'll still be in finance.
You're at a point where there's no more growth in this
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, for sure.
It's been made clear several
I'll
times.
definitely
Yeah.
work. It's come up a lot of do I want to work? Do I not want to work? Like, I work because I really like working. Like, I'm one of those people that, I don't know, I'm just not a stay-at-home parent. I love my children with everything in me, but, like, literally, Aubriana was, like, 3 weeks old, and I was like, I've got to get out of this house. Like, I can't just be only a mom. And for a lot of people, like, they're able to, and they're able to keep their own identity, but for me, like, I wasn't able to. Like, I needed to be able to work.
But, I mean, I feel like, okay, so I was...
You were a stay-at-home mom for a long time.
And I was happy
and you
as a
did
kid
well.
for the most part, but it happens for everyone. You
Yeah.
start to lose your identity. It happened to me, and I was happy as could be to be freaking barefoot and in pajamas running around the house with the kids. But it gets to, you do lose your sense of identity. And not just that, but you start to lose your sense of purpose. Like, yes, you know you're there for your kids, like, obviously. But you feel like, is this is it? I'm here for these
It's
kids?
almost like it's less tangible. Like, you don't have an actual paycheck or...
Yes.
Which I think stay-at-home parents are amazing, especially, like, for your kids and their relationships. And
there's no amount of money that can,
right. But
cover
it just,
that.
for my personal health, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. And that's fine. It's just like my friend Becky, who we talked about before, like, she loves children, but, like, she doesn't want kids. And I can get it. Like, she has her own amazing goals that she has in life. And I hate that stigma too, like, people getting flack for just knowing their mind. Like,
I never, like, give anybody flack. If anything, I'm more like, more interested, for lack of better words. Like, so for me, my main purpose of life is my family and my kids.
of course.
And so for somebody to choose that they don't want to have kids, it's totally fine. But then I'm like, my curiosity is going, because surely they've got something that they're very passionate about.
Right.
And that they feel is their purpose, which is absolutely fine. But I'm always like, but what is that? It's so crazy to me.
Well, the thing is, though, like,
To imagine it being something different.
But just
it's
because
really cool.
you don't have your own children doesn't mean you still don't live for your family.
Right, absolutely.
Like, for instance, again, my friend Becky, like, she's the fun, cool aunt.
Yeah.
She has a very large family, and a lot of her family lives out of state, and whenever she goes and visits them, all of the nieces and nephews, she does fun things with them, and they have a special bond and relationship.
Yeah, and you can
they won't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
have with their parents. So, like,
I
feel
think
like,
it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me, and it's like, I don't mean to sound like ignorant or offensive by any means. I don't mean it that way. It's just like, okay, like, for her, like, her purpose, like, she's very, I don't know, just outside looking in, would be, she's very into health, she's very into helping people, she's definitely a great person, but it's just, that's always just like, whenever people say they don't want kids, it's like, okay, cool, but what is your purpose?
Yeah,
that's cool.
right.
Like, I just want to learn more, because that's not something I ever found in myself, obviously, because I chose to have kids.
Right.
So I just think it's really cool.
I
In
never
a weird
think
way.
I wanted
I don't know.
kids early on.
You didn't either.
Isn't that fun?
I didn't want kids until I was at least 25.
So you knew, right?
At 19, I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So I was terrified. And again, I had 2 kids by the time I was 25, and
I always wanted kids. It was never a question for me.
I wanted to
that
have a
so
career
funny?
before I had kids, and that's not how life played out for me.
Yeah,
And
life
actually,
really does play out the way you expect it to.
Always wanted kids, and then, which is funny that you guys didn't necessarily think that you did, but I did. And then I'm the one that had the heart condition that they're like, that's not a good idea. And I was like, watch this. So
I got this.
I'm good. So I wasn't supposed to have kids, but I'm the one that wanted them.
Another reason why she won't have any more.
No, I'm good.
We kind of like her heart, beating.
Yeah, that's a plus.
Turns out it's the better of the scenarios. So, well, I mean, it comes down a lot more. I honestly, if I'm being honest, my health is not what's stopping me from having more kids.
It's your
I'm not
husband.
afraid of it. It's my husband. Turns out that's not something you can compromise on. You can't, like, trick somebody into having a baby.
Listen, someone
No, it
around
doesn't
you
work
always
like
has
that.
some kids.
Yeah.
Just borrow someone.
You can, come on, just give me a little while. You can borrow.
Which is always,
You can borrow my
it's
boys
always so
anytime
funny
now.
to me because I go back and forth. I mean, I have my weeks where I'm like, I don't feel complete, like, what am I? And I think it's me just kind of freaking out, like, because I've been a mom for as long as I can remember. Like, so who am I without being a mom? Kind of like, what's my purpose now that I've had kids? And it's like, I think it's more than being afraid of it. But for the most part, I'm totally fine with it. I don't feel like trying to convince your partner to have another baby they don't want. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Me neither.
You definitely have to both be on board.
Mm-hmm.
But then anytime that there is a baby around, they're great and they're amazing. But when they're crying and stuff, I'm like, take it back.
hand them back.
It's like, I like my sleep. I sleep all night long.
I don't.
I nap. I don't want to go back down that road. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I have insomnia. If you're gonna throw a baby at me, go for it.
At least you have something to cuddle with.
Right? Make it interesting.
But also in 10 years, hopefully this year, I'll be done with school.
Yes,
You got
that would be
this.
great.
Especially
God.
now that it seems I'm going to have some time on my hands.
And that means we don't need to hear the excuse at night. Oh, I gotta do homework. You had all day.
I know.
You should have done it.
No more excuses.
No more excuses. Well, it's
Mwah,
not an excuse.
ha,
I'm in school full-time and I work full-time and I raise a family. Like, I don't always have time to sit around and drink wine.
But it's nice.
You know what else? Sorry, as I'm sitting here and just thinking about 10-year stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so with the whole Etsy thing, I was really... Okay, so I've never been to a Renaissance festival. Have you?
I
Anyone? Have
I
you
want
been
to
a
go
Ren
to
fair?
one.
We wanted to go this
So
last
wanna
December,
go.
but we missed it. I always miss it. But I just feel like those might be my people, you
Same.
know? And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to, like, do a yearly or do a couple different Renaissance
say the
festivals
next one
and,
that
like,
comes
bring
around,
my
we
whimsy
go.
crocheted
Wait,
things.
yes.
Like, I thought I would love something
What
like
is a
that.
Renaissance festival?
Basically, it's a festival that is
You get to dress up like when you're
celebrating
like,
the
yeah.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
They have like knights and ladies.
I mean, I know what
and,
that is.
and jousting and
Oh.
like foods from that time and games
no
from that
silverware, though.
time, axe throwing,
I don't know that I've ever heard of one of
fairies,
those.
dragons.
I don't know. That sounds like a lot of fun.
We should do it. We should try to do it. They
I
have
would
one
love
in
to see her in
Orlando.
Renaissance get up.
Do you,
Dude, I have
do you
so much
dress
things.
up?
Yes.
You don't have to,
But you can.
I mean, I will.
Is it like the Renaissance version of like the pirates downtown and how they
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Mermaids. Like,
I always think the pirates are all really fascinating too.
me too. I always thought it would be fun to be one of those pirates.
Yeah,
Especially
you
when I
you
had
can
the
walk
dreads.
downtown around here dressed up, and you don't get a second look.
Not as a pirate. We do have
Yeah.
an annual pirate festival. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
we're pretty pirate positive. But Chris and I always
Which
thought
is
about doing
horrible
that. If
when
we
you
have more
think about what
flexibility.
pirates did.
Oh, I know it's awful. It really is.
and we
awful.
celebrate
They're
them.
great.
Well, considering we're a coastal city and we've been occupied by a couple different countries in our history, I think it's like leaning into the kind of sadness. You're like, well,
I don't know. The pirates
We
have
had a
never
lot
done
of
anything mean to me.
we've had a lot of pirates.
If anything, they're offering you shots. So
True story.
I've never really had a problem with them.
But I think that would be fun, and a lot of my crochet work is whimsical. You know, I really love to make wings, and there are a lot of
Yeah.
fairies at Renaissance festivals. I think that I would have a lot of fun doing that, but like it
I
wouldn't
need to
be
get
like
skinny again
going
so I
to.
can model for you. Maybe that's the problem.
I mean, you can model for me now. You don't gotta get skinny. I gotta make some things.
I can be a hand model.
I got some
The
nice
rest
feet.
of me is just too big. I'm sorry.
You're so
Aw.
silly.
I
No.
remember I used to be so tiny.
You were very
And I was
tiny.
like all of her like little like crochet tops and I loved that. That
They
was
couldn't
fun.
even fit one boob for me.
I have a handful of things actually that are finished that I need to take pictures of. So
That would be fun.
a couple of them are blankets, so that's not.
I'll model your
We've got
blanket
my
for you.
lounging on the couch with a book.
There we go. Whatever works.
That's all they always looking like the
My next career goal.
like the
modeling.
patterns, the
Blankets.
crochet patterns and stuff. It'll be like sitting in a cozy chair with a cat, you know, crochet blanket.
Of course. You gotta set the scene.
Yeah. But
That's
I
funny.
think that would be really fun. But like, okay, so before I thought, oh, I'll do markets, but like we did the one, and like that was a lot.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine.
It was really fun.
It was, but like people
It was
that
a lot
do
of
them
work.
like once a week, like the farmers market and stuff. Like no, don't think I could do that. It's too much. I don't have the energy for it.
The setup, the takedown, the
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's too much.
socializing.
It's too much. But I think I could do like a couple Renaissance festivals here and there. We love to camp. I like to see us as, you know, when we get older, having a little RV or
Yeah, I could see it.
a
That would be
cool
really
like
cute.
conversion van situation and travel with like a trailer in the back.
You know what would be fun is if I could get Ben on board for that. Ben is all
I could
for.
see him being into that.
Yeah.
He's all for traveling to other countries.
Oh,
He's not real big on anything in the
Stateside?
U.S.
That's
Aw.
weird.
There's like a couple things here and there that he's mentioned, like, oh, it'd be cool to take the girls to, and we've gone to Georgia a couple times, like,
Yeah.
but really, if we travel, it's overseas, or like the Bahamas, which technically is, I mean, it's not like any like of the big
Yeah.
historical
far.
stuff in the U.S.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm all about, like, I want to see the Grand Canyon, and I want to
Oh
do
my
this,
god,
that,
I've
and the
seen
other.
the Grand Canyon. It's one of the only things I've seen, and
Yeah.
it is amazing. It really is amazing. I didn't think it would be, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah,
very
Ben's like-
powerful.
It's like,
and-
you've seen the Eiffel Tower, you've seen Big Ben, you've seen this, that, and the other. What
See,
do
that
you
doesn't
but
that
that's
doesn't like draw to
architecture.
me.
Yeah.
this is like
I like nature. I've seen
This is
I've seen like
Oh,
big
I've
ass
seen
waterfalls. Real ones.
amazing. Me too.
Beautiful.
I don't think I have.
And when we were in the Carolinas,
Northern Japan.
we saw like
Those aren't waterfalls.
10.
Those are not waterfalls.
What?
I'm
bigger?
talking.
I don't know.
big
Those
We
are
saw some-
petals.
We saw some pretty big ones.
Those are just like rivers down a little rock. I'm
Wow.
talking
You'll have to go back to
big
my
ass
Instagrams.
waterfalls.
and see. We saw some big waterfalls. They have some big ones.
She's just saying in comparison.
Okay. Maybe
I
you've
don't
seen
know.
a bigger wall. Your waterfall's bigger than my
It
waterfall.
was.
It's not a competition.
But it is very powerful
It-
too.
yes,
yeah.
it's
Every
amazing
time
and
anybody mentions
beautiful.
waterfalls, I've got the don't go chasing waterfalls.
Yes.
That's not even the right beat, but you know what I
Yeah,
meant.
that was
Not even
terrible.
close.
I don't sing. I'm not a singer.
But we will when we go on this cruise.
Nope.
Oh, only me?
I might. Oh, I'm not.
I'll
oh,
join
you're
in with
talking
you. I'll
about-
do some
karaoke.
karaoke.
Oh,
I'll do some
hell
karaoke.
I don't know
No.
any of those other people.
Hell no. There are videos.
Meh.
No. No.
Bring it on.
Mm-mm.
Did I ever tell you the one time I karaokeed in public, a friend of mine made me, it was like, we have to do one song, we started the song, she sang 2 words, didn't realize she didn't know the lyrics, and then dipped out
Oh no.
and left me there by myself. It was Fat Bottom Girls by Queen, so I had that shit, but it was
Oh,
just
no.
like, really though? Really?
That's
You
fucked
put
up.
me up here. She
That's
got
fucked
nervy.
No F-bombs.
Explicit, sorry.
Explicit.
But I don't know. I don't really see. I don't know. I'm gonna have a bigger house. We're looking at moving in the next couple of years, maybe the next year.
I'll take this one.
Just take
Buy
it.
it.
Just take it.
I mean, you gotta buy it, but
No, that's no fun.
yeah, I'm not real into charity.
I have a really good charity case.
Listen, I dropped some stuff off to the Goodwill last week.
Right?
I did. Well,
Check
no,
that box.
I actually haven't because it's all the bags are in my broken down truck.
Oh,
So,
God.
I always
made it
have you
to
seen
Goodwill.
that meme going around Facebook? Is like, I'm gonna donate all this stuff to Goodwill, but
But
it's gonna
first, I'm
sit
gonna
in my
drive around in
with
the
it
back
in
of
my-
my car
Yeah.
for 3 months.
Yeah.
It's true. Totally.
In
Story
my
of my
defense,
life.
my
Mine
truck
sits
can't
at the
move
front
right
of
now.
my front door, like it's going out. It's going out. It's right there near the front door.
And then you get it to the car a
No,
month
mine-
later.
Mine hardly makes.
I'm
it
looking
literally
around. I'm
sits
like,
right there.
Goodwill. We podcast in my garage, so like the whole behind it is like a wall of shelving and stuff, and it's like that bag is Goodwill, and that bag is supposed to go to Goodwill, and just keeps getting thrown back up there. Who has time for it?
All right, you guys. So. I guess that's it, really?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
guys feel like that wraps it up? Who knows where we'll be in 10 years? Maybe we'll still be doing this podcast and we can come back to that.
That would be
amazing.
fun.
That would be fun.
I
Maybe we can do a 5-year check-in.
I think overall, though, I'm pretty content with the way that my life has progressed. That I don't really have anything banking on. Like, this is going to be the big change in 10 years, and
It'll be good.
this is what I'm dreaming of. Because I feel like everything is. I mean, there are like hiccups along the way, obviously.
Oh, well, yeah, that's part of life.
But as an overall picture, I'm really happy with where I'm at and enjoying the moment.
Same. And it's about to get a little bit better for you.
Yes,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
it will.
I know
Positive
what I
vibes.
think. Okay, so, and this is a whole side note thing, and this is hokey hippy dippy stuff, so get ready. So, this past Thursday, it was the full moon,
Yeah?
and the full moon was in Leo, right? And it was a super moon, and first off, I slept like an insane amount. I slept from 9:30 at night until I got up at 6:30 in the morning, which is not usual for me. I'm not usually
Oh.
passing out at 9:30,
That,
ever.
I'm usually passed out by then.
And then, the next day I went to yoga, and I was talking to my yoga instructor. I'm like, I don't know what happened, And she's like, oh, the supermoon in Leo. And for instance, I know not everyone is, but like I am very like cycle-wise very
Stuck to the
current
moon.
to the moon cycles. And so, like, I was having all of these emotions and all of these feels. And so she sent me an article, and in it, it was saying how the full moon and super moon in Leo is supposed to make you feel like ready to take a next step, to have a sense of clarity where before maybe there was some fogginess.
Yeah.
And to go for things. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like
That's what
maybe
I'm
you're
doing.
getting that new moon energy.
Yeah.
Like, you've been kind of like,
Yeah,
Trying
I've definitely exhausted every measure. I've
yeah,
asked for help. I've done everything that I could.
you've done your due diligence.
That I feel like at the end of the day, it's not necessarily that I'm bad at it, because I don't feel like I am. I think I'm very good at my job. It's just not a good fit anymore. So
We grow, we change, but now,
for sure.
but now you know what you need to do, and even though it can be a little scary, you're ready for it, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll be what it is.
Blame it on the moon.
Blame it on the moon. I can definitely see that though, because that's
Isn't that
really
cool?
whenever like it really hit a head.
Heather's
last
like, you guys
week.
crazy. I saw that eye roll.
What about
No, my back's hurting. I'm sorry.
Aww.
what about triumphs?
I finally got my TV mounted.
I
and
was
my...
gonna say the same thing.
So our great brother-in-law came over and mounted all of our TVs for us, and
Apparently,
my
mounting TVs to the wall is a difficult
which
thing.
I have another one for him to mount, by the way.
Oh,
It just came in the mail today.
He mounted 2 for me, and I made him move 1 lower. I felt
did
awful.
he pick up his beer?
Yes.
Okay.
I text him, and I was like, because I saw the text saying, "Oh, Heather, he forgot something. He's going back to your
Did
house."
yeah.
I texted him, I was like, "Pick up your beer." I was in the middle of doing dishes. Pick up your beer. I want to say thank you.
They
Yeah,
pay my
so-
husband in beer.
He's a good sport.
So my living room has opened up so much and looks so
Mine too.
much nicer.
I'm not
Yeah.
afraid I'm gonna like handprints on this TV, and like I'm not afraid a child will fall into it out
Yes.
of clumsy, or me for that matter, out of
I'm
clumsiness.
not afraid the kids are gonna throw a ball for the dog and it's gonna hit the TV.
Oh God.
That's funny, because ours have always been mounted, so I didn't really think anything of it.
It looks so nice.
We only
I'm
have
so
the one
excited.
TV that's not mounted in the living room, because I'm going to have to share a picture one day. So,
Shannon, how many TVs do you have in your living room?
That's okay.
We
I have
have-
2 in my bedroom.
we have
so.
3.
My husband is a techie guy. He needs his
First of
computers.
all, we had the one, I think it was like 60 inch. It's a pretty large room TV.
Yeah.
And my husband's really into gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And so his friend would come over often and play these games with him, but then they would like take a TV off the wall in my daughter's room and like set it up, and I was like, you guys just need to get another TV.
It's too much.
And then he like starts looking at like 35, 40 inches or whatever they are. And I was like, no, like everything's symmetrical.
Make them match.
Like
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
have
There's
2,
literally
and he's
one
like,
on each side.
yeah.
he's like, wait, so you're actually telling me I need to get the bigger TV? And I was like, I know it sounds crazy,
But just do it so
But-
my house looks okay.
but yeah, so it has to be symmetrical, and even I'm very like OCD about stuff like that. Especially since whenever you walk through my front door, you see my entire house.
Mm-hmm.
It's an open floor plan, and you just can't have like this and this. It
No.
doesn't work.
Doesn't look right.
It's ridiculous. So then Zoe's real into it. So then Zoe uses that TV whenever his friends are over. But then Aubriana got a PS4 too, because now she's getting into everything. But she likes to play with them in the room. She doesn't
course.
like to be in her room playing the same game where they talk and on their heads. No, she has to be in the same room. So then on the other wall, we have another TV. It's ridiculous, but they love it. I don't even.
I have
remember-
one TV in each room. I have one in the boys' room. They don't use it. It's not plugged in. So if anybody needs a new TV. And one in the living room and one in our bedroom. But I wouldn't mind mounting all 3. But again, the boys don't even use the one in their room because they will be up all night, and I'm not for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't have it. They don't actually watch.
We
the one in
have
our room.
a big one in our living room, and it's hit or miss. Like, sometimes we're using it more often, sometimes not as much. Annika will watch, like, which I'm grateful for, like, she'll watch, like, YouTube or Vines, like, on the
Yeah, ours are more
Chromebook, and I'm like,
into their
please,
computer.
I don't
Yes.
want to hear all of that most of the time, no offense, but
Yeah.
it can be, like, really great.
I
with your
purposely
nerves.
bought the headphones.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
have any.
she usually will be on that. We use the bigger TV for like movie nights and things like that. And then in our room we have a TV for Chris and I for like when we're like Netflix and chilling, you know, in the evening. But then on his side of the bed, he has a smaller.
I noticed it's like where it like comes like right like into his
fucking
face.
hate it. I'm sorry, F-bomb again.
Ah.
I
Like,
try
at
to
his
be
bed.
a good wife. Okay, it is literally like it shares our bed space with us. It's on the wall, but like it's still there, you know. And it's
Yeah.
smaller than our other TV, but I'm trying to be okay with it. We did just have an argument because he really wants to keep his gaming chair in the living room, but then he wanted to. I thought he just wanted his gaming chair in the living room. Fine, whatever, it's your chair. But I thought he was gonna like have a table to put his laptop on. No, he wants to put another big ass TV in the living room for when he's on his
That
on
defeated
his
the
thing.
purpose.
And because the laptop is too small for him. And I'm like, why don't you use the big TV? What if everyone else is using the big TV? And I'm like, then
There's 2 TVs in the bedroom.
and he's like, well, then I have to be separated from everyone?
Open the door.
Listen. It was like a whole night thing. It was like one of those things where we had to like call a truce.
And like we'll
And just
revisit
leave it
later.
alone.
Oh my god.
So I said the same thing. I was like, I will forego watching something or the kids watching something if at any time you want to play a video game, play it on that big TV.
yeah.
Well, it's so big.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
god. That's funny.
Right now, we're just kind of at a standstill, and
I know,
I'm
don't
hoping
you
it
hate
stays that way.
whenever,
I
like-
don't need any more screens in my life.
Yeah,
God.
like you have like this whole design plan and
Yes.
exactly, and for a long time, Ben was very much like, do whatever you want to do. This, that, and
Yeah.
that. They hook
My
him in his
husband
finger.
tells me that.
They
Do
hook
what-
you in.
Make the house however you want. But he has so much stuff
He does have a lot of stuff.
No, but then
that I have to like. I can't take out all his stuff because then he gets butthurt. He's like, "Well, where am I gonna put my stuff?" I'm like, "Okay, well, let me coordinate your stuff in with this stuff that I'm trying to make our house look like a home and not a bachelor pad."
Yeah.
Same. Hello. Video game rocker that has to be in my living room. Like this is for this is for the family. That's what I told him. I'm
Yeah.
like, why do you need a whole nother screen? This is for the family.
Yeah.
This is the
the
family,
family
room.
area.
Yeah, like, can you just be on your laptop? Like, I already have the stinking video game rock chair sitting. I'm like, why don't we just get some speakers? He likes the speakers right here.
Oh
Oh,
my
My
god.
husband is a music fanatic too, I should say. He always has music on in his ears, and that's one of those marriage compromises. Sometimes it drives me nuts too, but I was like, listen, there's a TV in bed next to me, there's a TV across from me in bed, there's a big ass TV on the living room wall now. No more TVs.
That's enough.
We're done.
And don't the girls have TVs in their rooms?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
And then
Thank God.
my triumph for the week. We got
Oh, we
sidetracked.
didn't get
yeah.
that far. Sorry, we
So
had a
you
rant.
guys
We
are
had a
excited
rant
about TVs.
Yeah.
Love it. I have another one
I have
too.
more
can
space
slip
in my
there.
house. It's wonderful.
It is really nice.
And I'm
I
about
think-
to have more if Ben wants to come over and mount the next one.
You might have to give him a break. He's been mounting TVs all week. But
right.
I think mine is just, I don't know. I feel like good things are on the horizon.
Heck
Like
yeah,
I'm
they
turned
are.
the curve,
There are.
and I'm terrified, but I'm also really excited about what's next. So
It's going to be a wonderful rest of the month and a wonderful year.
I hope so.
You're right. So
Big, exciting things happening.
yes.
We shall see.
My other triumph is that it's our anniversary. My husband and I's 15th
Hooray!
anniversary on Wednesday. So this weekend when we podcast, this upcoming weekend, I'll be able to tell you all about our Orlando trip and if we did or not go to the Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why,
well,
but in
what
my
if
head that was
celebrated?
still a
15
couple of
years.
weeks out.
No,
Nope,
it's creeping
I'm
up.
watching our kids this week.
It's,
Yeah.
You say that like
I hope
it's
they
so
realize
such a chore.
There
They're
is
so
no
easy.
staying up late in my house.
Well, I mean, they'll have their things.
And they better be
Nova will
quiet.
have her phone.
Ani's gonna be.
Ani has to
I'm
be
making
no-
Ani or Jack stay with me in my bed. Ani's gonna
Okay.
take that, and Nova will take the couch.
Annika's media cutoff time is 9 o'clock, and she's supposed to be
Okay.
asleep by 10.
Okay.
Yeah, no big deal. They're
Or I
easy.
could put both my boys in my room. They could have the boys' room. That might make a little more sense because I
If
get up
that's
pretty
easier,
early.
we'll
Yeah.
work that out later.
Yeah, it'll be.
I have a king size
But
bed.
anyway.
Really, it's-
Yeah,
To wrap this up,
I know. We're terrible about wrapping things up.
so I think that's all. And make sure you like, share, comment.
Comment.
and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.